Hello everyone, Phoenix Knight here. Welcome to the channel, and welcome to Mystical Munchies featuring the Star Wars Galactic Baking cookbook. We're about to start this new cookbook for the month with the appetizer, Podrace Puffs. Let's put the mishaps of the Dungeon Meister cookbook behind us as we start into our new cookbook. So, as this one also has stories, although very light on stories, we're going to go ahead and tell this one. Hit the concession stand at the track for a bag of these cheesy, pepperoni-topped puffs before heading to the stands to cheer on your favorite racer. Eat them while they're still hot. Glancing at this recipe, I don't know how much I trust them as leftovers, so we'll have to keep that in mind. Anyway, as usual, the ingredients are waiting for us at the table, so let's head in that direction. To make this recipe, we're going to need a cup of whole milk. I'm using skim, 2 large eggs, a cup of all-purpose flour, half a teaspoon of salt, an 1/8 teaspoon of pepper. I'm going to have to use a 1/4 and cut it in half, 2 teaspoons of dried pizza seasoning, 2 tablespoons of butter melted and divided, which I've already done both of those, 24 pepperoni minis, and a tablespoon of finely grated Parmesan cheese divided. I'm probably using the wrong Parmesan cheese looking at the recipe, but we can probably work with this. Anyway, let's move into the kitchen now and start putting this recipe together. You're most likely going to hear the oven chirping just like that. I've got it preheating to 425 with the rack in the upper third of the oven. Hopefully not as high as the marshmallow golems from last month where I inadvertently started that fire. Anyway, now we've got a medium bowl, so we're going to whisk together the first few ingredients until smooth. So we're going to start off with the cup of milk, as I mentioned. The recipe calls for whole milk. I'm using skim. A cup of that. I'll keep that close in case I need to add more liquid to the recipe, which is a very distinct possibility. 2 eggs, which I've got right here. There we go. Hopefully without getting any shell in here, but we seem to be okay in that regard. At least for the first egg. Let's see how the second one goes. Okay. Given that these are getting whisked together anyway, I don't really care how the eggs fall out, other than, again, the aforementioned no shell. Then we want a cup of all-purpose flour. Okay, there's that. The flour can go back up. All right, a tablespoon of the butter. I'm going to grab a spatula in case I need to scrape the camera back just a bit. There we are. I'll bring it back. Okay, there's the butter. Now we want the 1/2 teaspoon of salt. So I've got the salt right here. Salt can go up. And the 1/8 teaspoon of black pepper. So we've got 1/4, but I'm going to have to cut that in half. That should about do. Okay. That can go back up. This can hit the bin. That was a completely unrelated ingredient to the recipe. So now we want to whisk this together until it's smooth. And like I said, I've got the milk handy. I've got the milk handy in case I need to add more liquid to it to try to smooth it out. Which I don't think I'll need to smooth it out, actually, so that's a relief. That is hurting my arm, though, not surprising. Okay, that actually is looking pretty smooth, so I can put the milk away. And now we want to stir in the pizza seasoning, which I, of course, had to buy fresh from the grocery store this morning. So we can get that open. There we go. I was going to say, once I can get my nail down under the... Once I get my fingernail down under the plastic seal, but I managed to get it there. 2 teaspoons of that. Hopefully the spoon will fit right in. Oh yeah, it'll fit right in nice and easily. Perfect. All right. Now we'll mix that in. And the oven just came up to temperature, so that's great. Definitely smelling the seasoning now that we added that in. Okay, now that's all mixed up, so now we need a mini muffin pan and shot. We've got our 24 mini muffin pan in shot. So the next thing we're going to do is take the remaining tablespoon of butter and butter the pan. So very lightly. Yeah, that went about as well as I kind of thought it was going to. Grab the spatula once again. And now we're going to put that in the oven until the butter sizzles, which should take about 2 minutes to do. So I'm going to move that just slightly out of the way. I'll set a timer, we'll check that after 2 minutes. And in the meantime, we'll go ahead and get the batter, get the rest of the ingredients ready. So, I'm also going to need a hot pad for this. Then we need now we need to bring the mini pepperoni and the shredded Parmesan cheese in shot. I'll go kill this light, the one over the dining room that I'm shutting off. Give the batter a little bit of a stir. gonna get a plate down as well, so I'm ready for the taste test. I'm ready for the taste test in about half an hour. Okay. Just giving the batter a little bit of a stir. We've got about a little less than a minute left before the butter should be sizzling. I'll actually give that a quick look. Okay, it is starting to sizzle. Starts to, I believe we wanted. Till the butter sizzles. Okay. So we'll give that about another 30 seconds before we get the pan out of the oven. It should be ready at this point. Might have been easier to just spray it down with non-stick, but as always on Mystical Munchies, we do the recipe first as written, unless I need to make some specific modifications. Which in this case, I didn't think I needed to make any significant modifications. Okay. Now we need the pan out of the oven. Okay, perfect. All right. Whoa. All right, so now what we want to do is divide the batter among the muffin cups, and they should be about 2/3 full. So I think rather than the whisk for this, I'm going to use, I don't know what I'm going to use at this point. Probably just like a regular spoon, I'm thinking. Let's grab one out and we'll see how it goes. I'm not sure I want to just start pouring it in. Seems like it's liquidy enough. No. I don't think it's going to hold in the... Yeah, it's not going to hold in a spoon either, so I think I am going to have to pour this as much as I don't want to. So, since I really don't want to touch something that's just been in the oven at 425 for 2 minutes barehanded, we'll bring the hot pad over. We're probably... Other way, Phoenix. We're probably going to end up with... Actually, I kind of want it to be up a little bit because I don't want this to spill on the floor too much. We're going to end up with, most likely, with a little bit of a mess over the cups, but I don't think we can help that. So, there's got to be an easier way to do this. Okay. Some of these are going to be a little bit more than 2/3 full. Oh boy. Yeah. Some of these are going to be a lot more than 2/3 full. And given that I've got a knife block right here, that's making it even more of an awkward pour. We'll get a bigger spatula out. Okay. Should be able to get these last couple filled in. Okay. See if we can maybe do a little bit more with some of these ones that didn't get quite filled as much as I wanted them to. Okay. That's... Looks like this one over here. Okay. Get a little bit more in here. We're going to have overflow on these. I would be shocked if we didn't. Anyway, I think we got that all handled. That's going to go in the sink. I haven't pulled dishwater yet, but I will be once I turn the camera off. So now we want to top each of these with a slice of the mini pepperoni, which I've got that right here. This one's going to have serious overflow. Okay. Maybe top mount. I think we pretty much have all of these. Perfect. Then I've got the Parmo that we're going to sprinkle on here as well. All right. I know very precise measurements. Okay. All right. I think we're good there. So now we'll put these in the oven for 18 to 20 minutes until puffed and golden brown. And then, so once we get this in the oven, and get the timer set, we'll come back to that in about 20 minutes. And in the least shocking bit of news that we've had since the last time we had very anticlimactic news on Mystical Munchies, we have overflow pretty much on all of these. But what we're going to do now is we're going to sprinkle the remaining Parmesan on these. Actually, well, we're not going to sprinkle all of this, most likely. We're going to sprinkle some of it, though. Okay. We can put the Parmesan cheese back in the fridge. Then I'll grab a fork, see about lifting a couple of these out onto the plate. Go for some of these bigger ones here. Okay. So we got a whole clump of them in here, but that was kind of to be expected. That one was going to have a serious amount of overflow anyway we did it. Trying to get these two separated off. There we go. There we go. We'll maybe pull this one that was coming out anyway. Here we are. And then I'll see you guys over at my desk for the taste test. These Podrace Puffs were smelling pretty good as they were coming out of the oven. So hopefully somebody will remember that, hey, they're fresh out of the oven at 425. So if I start screaming, that's why. And the fact that these specifically say serve immediately in the recipe means I don't trust them as leftovers. So let's see how these taste on the taste test. Here we go. They were smelling pretty good, so let's find out. These actually are pretty good. They're obviously on the airy side because there's a lot of bread in there, but I really like them. I maybe might have put a little bit more pepperoni on there because these were small. Even for mini pepperonis, these were pretty small. So there's definitely no sauce in here, which also helps with the temperature and probably why I wasn't screaming my head off at the very high temperature. But that is another episode of Mystical Munchies in the books. What's all coming up on the channel? Tomorrow we're interrupting the winter campaign, or not the winter campaign, our spring campaign in Arkham Horror the card game for game number 4 on my Tack Up Wargaming list with our Victory in Europe Day tradition as we play Black Orchestra from Starling Games. Wednesday we're heading back to the baseball diamond as we play Inside Pitch Baseball, and next week on Mystical Munchies we're continuing out of the Star Wars Galactic Baking cookbook with the side, Puffer Pig Pocket Pizza. And I'll try to say that so I can actually say it fast. Thank you for watching the video. Please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Be sure to turn on notifications so you get my content. Be well, stay safe, take care of yourselves and your loved ones, and I'll be back with more videos in the future. Until then, take care everyone.